Yes, we are live. Hey, folks! It's Terry Mack here, along with Jeremy and our good friend Michael, who's over actually in Italy. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you had a good Easter and good holiday weekend. We're going to zap right into things here. Being in business of my own as an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old. I've never really known what it's like to work for somebody else. Jeremy and I have done several projects together and have experienced some pretty good success. And just like a lot of you out there, you're presented opportunities every week, every day. I know we are doing a lot, and we evaluate things just to evaluate things, just to see what's out there in the marketplace. We're currently involved in a couple of other projects. I just started a company helping doctors around the U.S. create more income. Doctors are taking a pounding. Jeremy started an insurance company where he's doing that as well as some other projects that some of you are a part of what we're doing. Some of you are not yet. But we appreciate Michael, who you're going to hear from here, taking his time on his business trip in Italy to share this opportunity of cryptocurrency. The fact, really, when it comes down to opportunity, I think there was a little backsplash going on there, Jeremy. Good job. I think.
Yeah, you kept cutting in and out, so I don't know if you're moving. I'll just mute my mic.
Okay, very good. I kept hearing a little bit of back and forth. So, nonetheless, really, folks, this is not geared towards any one individual. This is something that Jeremy has a relationship with Michael, and Michael presented this to Jeremy. I ran through it. It looked really, 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 really interesting. To say the least, very, very, very solid foundation. You look into the future. You look into currencies. It's the largest, market in the world. So this is just an opportunity that we're sharing with just a handful of people that we personally work with directly. Okay, just because we care about you, and when opportunity looks good and it's time to take advantage of it, we're going to present it to you. Again, it creates no conflict with anything else you're doing. It's totally outside the realm of anything that we're doing, and it's all about diversification. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy and let Jeremy introduce Michael and explain to you his relationship with Michael, and I'm going to mute out and go from there. Jeremy?
All right, thanks, Terry. Thanks, guys, for coming out. We're not going to keep you guys a long time. As Terry said, multiple streams of income is always a good thing. This is more about an investment play for some of our friends and key people that we want to talk to here. And my phone is going crazy. Sorry about that. Like a guitar going off. Anyways, so this is really, a lot of people say, oh, it's all about timing and positioning. I know we've used that before too, but this actually really is. And Michael's going to explain that to you. And it is so funny. I finally start talking on the webinar, and then the phone just starts going crazy. So, met Michael probably, what would you say, bro? 7 years ago, we were in an online digital software company selling stuff online. Met him in Vegas. Went out and had crawdads together. It was kind of funny, but we've kept a great relationship. But I got a lot of respect for this guy because he's what I like to call a very smart guy. Okay. And he watches trends and he's very in the global economic situations of what's happening out there as far as currency, certain things like that. And currency is actually the biggest thing in the world. It trumps anything out there. Trillions of dollars are traded on the open market every day. We're not going to talk about anything like stupid like binary options or whatever. There's a million of those. We got something really unique and special. I'm going to turn it over to Michael Matthias, good buddy of mine, and he is the expert in this field. He just got back from Bulgaria, meeting with the president of the company, spent a lot of quality time with her. And Michael, why don't you go ahead and take it away, and we're going to show you some screenshots, and we're just going to show you why me and Terry are pretty excited about diversifying and making some extra money here because the money's very lucrative.
Great. Yeah. So this is an opportunity in the cryptocurrency space. I've been tracking this space for a number of years. Many of you may have heard of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency on the marketplace. It had a very interesting history where it started off where an individual engineer, programmer could basically, using their personal computer, go through an algorithm and, in essence, mine a coin. And what that meant is just use their personal computer to solve an equation. And each equation, they were rewarded with a coin. There was a total of 21 million Bitcoin solutions to their algorithm. So there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. This came onto the market, was introduced by a group out of Japan. The exact people behind it have not even come public, but it was very much in the shadows for a number of years, and then it got it made mainstream headlines in the business world because this coin that, again, were being created, it took about an hour of a computer's time to create a coin in 2009 when it was first introduced. By 2010, these were trading amongst people that were mining them with other people, and they were going for about 10 cents per coin. Over the course of the next few years, that price went up to about $5 to $10 around 2012. 2013 was the year of Bitcoin. It started off at $13 and went as high as $1,150. So it was the best investment possible in 2013. In 2014, it showed some volatility and was going up and down. One of the largest exchanges was hacked, and so some of its drawbacks became apparent, and so that kind of ushered in this time period where we are now, because my view and many other people's view has been that Bitcoin was the first of the cryptocurrencies to emerge, but it's most likely not the one that's going to go mainstream. It's going to remain a niche play, which is what I would describe it as right now. Again, there's going to be up to 21 million coins. The price sits around $250 right now. It's got a market cap of about a little under $4 billion. So it's sizable, but it's been estimated that between 250,000 and 1 million people actually hold 1 Bitcoin or more. So in the grand scheme of things, that's a fairly small amount of people. And I would not characterize that as going anywhere near mainstream. And so my contention has always been, and I've watched this market very closely, my contention is that there is going to be one cryptocurrency that will emerge as a mainstream cryptocurrency. And by that I mean just it's going to be held by 10 million people or more. The first currency that goes to that length, I think, is going to be a huge, huge opportunity. And in my estimation, and if you can check there's a site called CoinMarketCap.com. It shows all the different cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is by far the biggest one at just shy of $4 billion. It falls off dramatically from there. There really isn't a whole lot of players in the market that really are anything to speak of. That's because anybody can create a cryptocurrency. A lot of people just copy the Bitcoin algorithm and create their own, put their own name on it, whatever. They try to give it some angle, but where everyone is ignoring, and where I see this company that I want to talk to you about, where they're very intelligent, is everyone's looking at some of the technical facets and saying, oh, let's make it more secure, let's make it more efficient, let's do some of these technical things. That's not what's going to change what goes mainstream. What the real crux of this matter is about the network. There's a network effect to cryptocurrency that is very similar to the network effect to a social network, let's say like Facebook, whereas meaning that the more people, the more nodes in the network, the more valuable it becomes. So the more people holding this currency, the more valuable it becomes. And that's where I see the big difference in this currency. I had talked to a number of my friends who we saw the potential of cryptocurrency, and we saw the drawbacks of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has got some very severe drawbacks, and that's why it hasn't gone mainstream. But we were always of the mind that anyone that could properly bring together a cryptocurrency with network marketing, that engine that is the network building engine of network marketing, it would create a phenomenal amount of value if done correctly. And so I've been on the lookout for companies that are operating in this realm, and I'm actually, frankly, very surprised that there are very few that have even attempted it thus far. But lo and behold, out of Sofia, Bulgaria, of all places, and created by a woman who's the CEO of a company called OneCoin. It's got I think, a very good name, OneCoin, and I think it's got the right elements. She had no background in network, but she saw the value of it in creating the growth engine that she needed for this currency. She made a lot of the right decisions in terms of how to structure the coin itself. So she created a customized algorithm. She basically then extended the money supply to the point where Bitcoin 21 million, she multiplied by 100. She thought that with Bitcoin trading now at as high as over $1,000 right now at $250, that's a high amount. So someone's going to buy one coin for $250 for a stock. Think of it as a stock. That's a high thing, needs to split a few times to come down to earth. So what she thought, she loves the idea of fixed money supply, and that's what the appeal. It's one of the big appeals of cryptocurrency is it's a fixed money supply. In these days where the printing presses are running in the fiat currency, it's a very heartening, very solidifying effect where you're only going to have so many of these coins. They're not mathematically, it's impossible to create more once you start the algorithm, and the algorithm has started for OneCoin. It began to be mined on January 20th of this year. So the long and short of that is that there's now 2.1 billion OneCoins that are able to be created. Thus far, there's just shy of 100 million of them have been created to date. The company has grown amazingly fast. It started operations in September of this past year, and already, and I'm talking to you in early April, it is just about to hit, I think it'll even hit it today, 150,000 members, which for anybody that's familiar with any of the industries here, I think that's a very impressive number. 150,000 members in about 7 months. They're on a trajectory that they're going to be bringing in people at about 3,000 new members a day. So they are moving swiftly to this moment where the coin itself will start to trade publicly. And that happens on May 15th. There's a big event in Dubai to bring the coin public and give it really its true public nature, because people can then buy it directly. So how does anyone get a coin now? Well, right now you have to be part of this mining pool, and this is one of the big differences where her name is Dr. Ruja Ignatova, and Dr. Ruja took a different tack. Bitcoin is very well known to be decentralized. Everything is decentralized about it, and it has some pluses in that it's apart from any government. It has some minuses in that really nobody is running the thing, and it also attracts a lot of, you can trade anonymously in it, so it attracts a lot of the criminal element, terrorist. So it's gotten a lot of negative press for that. She went and decided, rather than have a decentralized mining process, let's do it in a very centralized way. And so rather than having all these different organizations out there with their servers and their IT experts going at the mining process, she said, let's just have one one mining pool that is contracted by the company to do all the mining of this coin. And I think it's a really brilliant idea that maybe some of the purists in the cryptocurrency realm are going to say, hey, that's not a cryptocurrency. I beg to differ. I think it's actually the right way to seed something. What it allows is not only does it give you an organization that can do some very interesting things like offer a MasterCard on the back end of this thing, but it also allows the company to comply with Know Your Client. So yeah, you're not going to be able to trade anonymously with this currency, but I don't see governments coming after this currency because they're fully compliant with Know Your Client regulations. So I like that factor. I also really like the control that it gives of the centralized mining pool. So right now, the way they have it structured, and I'll go through, I'm going to pull up a screen right now. Just take
yeah, why don't you pop up a screen share?
Okay.
And just kind of show our guests what's going on here. And so you said that it's a small window. They're going to make 2 billion coins, right?
Yes, 2.1 billion.
Right, and then it stops. So would you say that this is a pretty, you know, one of those once-in-a-lifetime windows of opportunity to get it at the low price? So you're saying that people will make a lot of money in this, and they don't necessarily have to be a networker. Like, they don't have to bring people in.
That's one of the things that struck me about this that's unusual is that there are very few opportunities I've seen where you can literally have the retail client, so to speak, doing very well. And the way I see it in this, the retail client is the person that wants to buy this mining package and the educational products associated with it, and in order to get to acquire some coins, some OneCoin, that they see then the value of which is going to be appreciating in the next few months to few years. So there's a lot of people getting involved that have no interest in building organizations. They just want the coins themselves. And I'll give you a sense of what's going on with that. I'll kind of walk through some of these slides first, but I'll kind of break down the mathematics on this, and just to give a little teaser on that, really what's happening right now is in certain mining packages, you're in essence you're able to purchase, or you're acquiring OneCoins at a rate of about 12.5 euro cents per coin. Now on May 15th, so about 6 weeks from now, there will be a launch of the public coin where it will publicly trade, and it's already been stated what level that the coin is going to come out at, what price level. And they've said it's going to be 50 euro cents. So right now, with the highest level package, that is not a huge amount of money, in my opinion, you are able to, in essence, acquire OneCoin at 12.5 cents. In 6 weeks, less than 6 weeks, it's going to be offered to the public at 50 euro cents. That's a 4 times your money proposition there. So there are a good amount of people that are buying mining packages with no intention to build out an organization, strictly just wanting, they see the possibilities of this coin, and I can go into the virtues of a cryptocurrency and the need for diversification into cryptocurrency at this juncture, and how Bitcoin is kind of played out in this whole realm. I mean, it's bid up to 250 and beyond, and it's going to stay up around that level. And that the reason for that is because the mining efficiency has eroded, and it's systematically erodes over time. The amount, the ability or the resources required to mine a coin, it mimics real life, like gold mining or oil, type of exploration, where now, for example, fracking, they have to move into the very sophisticated methods like fracking, but oil needs to be a certain price for that to be worthwhile. So there's a similar dynamic going on with this, and that's why it slowly erodes in its efficiency, and it really provides a very natural incentive to get involved as early as possible in order to get coins, in these 10-cent realm, where the company is expecting it to trade in the 2 to 5 euro range by the end of the year. So is there any guarantee of that? Absolutely not. I mean, it could go to zero is the truth. However, I would say it's highly unlikely that it would go to zero. It's systematically created to increase in value over time, and I can go into details about how that works. And part of it is this efficiency coefficient of the mining. So if it's getting more inefficient to mine, that means that what's been mined goes up in value. It just makes sense, and that tracks with Bitcoin for sure. And I can show you some of that in this slide. Let me take it down. This is an overview of the OneCoin concept. I've gone over a lot of this beginning idea. This algorithm and how it works, again, a very simple example is, how many, here's the math problem. How many, give me solutions to what makes 5, but you got to use, whole numbers. So 3 plus 2 equals 5, 4 plus 1 equals 5, 5 plus 0. So there's three solutions to that little equation, and that would reward 3 coins. So that's an overly simplified version of what's happening on a very high level with an algorithm that's producing 2.1 billion solutions. But here is this gives you a sense of what did Bitcoin do. So down at the very beginning of this chart is January of 2009 when it came onto the market. Again, trading under $1 up until May of 11. Then it starts to get some action, and it gets as high as $35, comes back down, trades in a $2 to $15 for the next year, up until next 2 years, up until January of 2013. Then you'll just watch it take this amazing trajectory up. It went up to 210, fell back a bit, and then went to the moon, went to 1203, comes back down, goes back up, but it's at the end of 14, or it was sitting. It's been going up and down, but it sits now at about $250, a little bit above that. Every indication is that it's not efficient to mine Bitcoin under $250, so they think there's a really strong floor right now on that number, and so it's going to most likely stay at that level. So think about it. In the beginning, they were mining it for free. Some people were buying it for 10 cents. This is a very famous story that ran in The Guardian. It was vetted. It really happened. This student, he was working on a thesis about cryptocurrency, ran into the fact that Bitcoin had been created and decided to just buy some of it. He wanted to have it, and he spent $27 on Bitcoin. Forgot he had it, and then saw the bid up happening in 2013, sold it for $186,000, the equivalent, and he bought a nice condo. So that is a very true story that occurred, and that's the kind of value that was created. But now, really, Bitcoin, as this slide will show, has really changed to the point where it's like it's for professionals. It has gotten, this is 5 years later, and you really got to be on your game. Bitcoin is being mined in warehouses in China that have these just huge server rooms, and they're in China because that's the place that they can get the lowest cost of operation. So my point on Bitcoin is it's played out, but my point on OneCoin is I actually think that not only is it not played out, but it's representing a bigger opportunity, in that I believe OneCoin has the right characteristics that are going to make it go actually much more mainstream than Bitcoin has ever gone. And so the possibilities for that are really exciting, and I do think that this coin is primed for that. I think the creator of this is, let's go on this side. She's got a very impressive background. She has a degree from Oxford in law. She has another master's degree in economics. She has a PhD also in law. So she's a very smart woman. She's worked a lot. She worked with McKinsey, and if anyone knows their consulting world, McKinsey is the top consulting firm in the world. They hire from Harvard Business School and Stanford Business School, and you've really got to be sharp to get a job at McKinsey. They deal with all the highest level Fortune 500 companies, and she worked for them for 6 years. She was an associate partner. She then was poached by one of her clients and helped to build an asset management company in Bulgaria, where she's from, and did very well with that, to the point where she basically could retire at the age of like 34 when she did that. She's 35 now, so she's very young, but very brilliant. And once she basically had also been watching the cryptocurrency realm and thought there's a better way to do this, and there's a better version of cryptocurrency than the Bitcoin version. Mistakes were made on that, and so she set out to start this company. And again, not having any network marketing experience, but knowing she had a friend, the guy who is now the master distributor of the company. He talked to her about what network marketing could do for a currency that she was creating. And the combination, I just think, is pretty amazing. So this goes into, this is the guy, his name is Sebastian Greenwood. He was the one who brought the power of network marketing to her. So they are based in Sofia, Bulgaria. I went, that's why I'm in Europe right now, is I went to visit their offices. I actually videotaped some interviews with different executives, including Dr. Ruja, and then also videotaped some interviews with leaders in this company. And the leaders in this company is doing some amazing things where, and we'll get into what the packages are, because this is not a ongoing commitment of any type. Let me get to that. I'm sorry for skipping around, but this, I'll make sure that Jeremy will have this available for everyone so you can go through it. It's fairly self-explanatory. But I want to get down to these packages because I want you to understand how it's working. So again, these are not monthly commitments. This is a one-time purchase of, in essence, educational materials, as well as a data or a digital mining package is the best way I would describe it. And so with you're committing either $100, $500, or, and I'm sorry, it's all in euro, by the way. It is a European-based company, so it's 100 euros, 500 euros, 1,000 euros, 3,000, or their top package, which is called the Tycoon Trader package, is 5,000 euros. And with that, you get these tokens. These tokens are for mining, basically. They are converted at a certain coefficient that is going up with every major section of mined coins. So, to me, from my estimation, it looks like the first break point was at 48 million coins, I think it was. And then there was another one at 86 million coins. The coefficient got higher, and therefore the mining efficiency got lower. So what does that mean? It basically means that you get a certain amount of tokens, and think of it as you get a percentage of the yield of this centralized mining pool. So the sooner you get your tokens and send them into the mining process, the sooner you're going to get coins back. And as I told you, earlier, right now with the current mining coefficient, you're getting at the Tycoon level, and I can go into why that package is so compelling, because with that package, you're able to acquire these coins for 12.5 euro cents. At the other packages, you're acquiring them for 25 euro cents. So literally within 6 months, theoretically, the coin will be starting trading at 50 euro cents. So you'll double your money in every package except for the Tycoon, in which you would quadruple your money. But that's just the beginning of where it's thought that this coin is going to go. I mean, half a euro is very much the beginning point. Because of the way it's structured, again, and I think that there's something in here about this, but it's basically anticipated to go to $2 to $5, by the end of the year, and ultimately, $20 to $50 in a matter of 3 years. So there's some very, large money that can be made. And again, this is a currency that's not just going to be, you don't have to wait for to use this to make sure the merchant needs to take one coin. That's one of the biggest factors in this, that is the most exciting factors about the centralized approach that they're taking. Because it's centralized, Dr. Rouge and her team can actually represent the company to banks that have MasterCard association, and they have already begun crafting a deal where your one coin account, will be linked to a MasterCard. And the MasterCard can be used anywhere MasterCard is taken. But what happens underneath that process is you present your MasterCard at a restaurant. They basically, underlying, this is what happens. Your coins, your one coins, are converted out of one coin and into whatever denomination or whatever currency you're dealing with, and they liquidate whatever amount of coins are needed to cover that transaction. So that's happening in real time, very quickly, using this exchange that called the One Exchange. And to me, that's a really huge factor, because yes, inevitably there will be merchants that are going to directly take one coin, but that's much more in the future. To be able to very quickly start to use this account for MasterCard transactions, I think is huge. Much less, I mean, you can certainly cash out of the coin in the exchange as well. So you have all your options there. It's real currency. They have a very interesting and very simple compensation plan. You get 10% of your direct sales paid to you. You get another 10% of the business volume in your weak side. So it's a binary, and you get 10% of your weak side volume. But the most exciting part, and the reason, from my understanding, and this is very unusual, but it's 7 months into this company, there are 100. This past week, I was there at the company headquarters, and this was shown to me that 174 people of their 150,000 members have maxed out the comp plan. And the comp plan maxes out at 35,000 euro per week. So it basically is saying that within 7 months, 174 people last week made 35,000 euro, which is an unusually high number. I think everybody would agree about that, that's had any exposure to this industry. So it's this bonus that's really driving that, and it's a matching bonus, a 4-generation matching bonus. And what's interesting is it does relate to the package you come in on. And so at the highest level, this is the level where everybody is making these maxed out comp plans, they're getting paid 10% of everybody they enrolled at the first level. So everyone they personally enrolled, they're making 10% of what they make. So it's a 10% matching. Then everyone in the second level, so all the people they enrolled, their direct enrollees, they get 10% of their check. On the third level, they get 20%. So this you're talking about a much larger group of people. These are the direct enrollees of the people that your first generation directly enrolled. Finally, there's a fourth level that pays out 25%. And that, if you take that down 4 levels, that's a lot of people, and you're getting 25% of all those people's checks. That is where the real power is in this comp plan. And there are people, as I say, that, they have famous stories, one of which I got on videotape, and I'll be showing you guys, was about a woman who was on fixed income in Finland. And I also want to say that right now, this opportunity has not yet opened in the United States. They are going through some rigorous checking and making sure they're compliant with the highly regulated U.S. Market. So they are just about to launch, and that's what's exciting for our team here, is we're just about to open up the U.S. But thus far, it's been big in Scandinavian countries, where the initial people got involved, and then also in Asia, particularly China, has been huge. And this story that I was beginning to tell you about is about a woman who was on a fixed income in Finland, making, I think it was something like €800 a month on her fixed income. And she happened to have the good fortune of enrolling one of these guys in China. She had a friend in China, and apparently one of them who has started, this huge growth that's going on there. And so she is now maxing out the pay plan on a weekly basis. This is a woman who was on, fixed income just at the, middle point of last year. So it is something to really look at. I really think that it has all the elements needed to become that mainstream cryptocurrency that I was talking about, that the one that's held by 5 or 10 plus million people throughout the world. There is going to be one cryptocurrency that is going to do that before any of the others, and I really think this company is best positioned to be that one to do it. So again, this talks about the story of, where will the coin be in 1 year? Here's a base scenario and an optimistic scenario. So starting at the €0.5, in a year from its launch, that's really technically would be May of 2016. They're anticipating €2.5 to €5 per coin. Then looking at 3 years, you're looking at 50 to 100. That's again, there's no guarantees of, disclaimer, but there is the potential for that, and there's reasons because of the mining coefficiency and how that erodes over time. There are a lot of reasons that would make it make sense that it would be at that level. So that gives a little bit of a flavor, Jeremy. Maybe you want to jump in and if there's any questions that you have directly, but that gives a nice overview, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know if you guys have any questions. You want to type them into the chat box. And this is recorded too, so if you guys want to utilize this, but I suggest right now you can take a position for free. Okay? Watch the webinar again. Get positioned. It's a crazy binary. As Michael said, 150,000 people have come in. It's about diversification, guys. Multiple streams of income is a very smart thing to do. I run an insurance agency. I'm in an application business. This is an investment with cryptocurrency. Very exciting, very unique, very special, very different. People like different. Why has 150,000 people come in, Michael? Because it's different. And I also want to, Michael, if you want to, you can click off of the screen here so you're back on the, so we can see the big blonde hair or whatever.
Oh, you want me to come off of that? You're saying?
No, it's fine. I just didn't see that. You can leave that up. Can you talk to respect of the U token, the U fund? I want to talk about the significant differences of, because there's a couple of other things out there, guys, and Michael is going to not debunk them, but talk about the advantages that OneCoin has versus some of the other quote unquote cryptocurrency plays out there, and why OneCoin is without a doubt the superior of them all.
Yeah, so and you might want to mute your, that would be helpful. So yes, I've been tracking this industry, and one company that emerged that's been around since January of 2014, so they've been around for about a year and this will be their year and 4 months. So 16 months they've been around, and they have grown tremendously. They have 350,000 plus members, which is a very impressive number. Their minimum package to get involved is $500. That goes up as high as I think $50,000, and it's based out of Thailand. It's called the company is called UFun, and the currency is called U token. Now it's not a cryptocurrency, so there's a big difference in that fact. It is a digital currency, and their whole idea is to have it be backed by assets. So it's an interesting idea, and it's taken root with a lot of people. However, I personally feel that it has some real weaknesses. One of those is that they're saying that it's 22% backed by assets, and there's a committee that is. UFund was a large company prior to doing this venture in U tokens. And so this group that's behind UFund, they basically pledged assets to back up this U token currency. But in my opinion, it's not highly regulated, and it's up to that committee's discretion. And so I do think it's prone to potential manipulation by that group that stands to benefit tremendously from the currency. So a little indication of their decision making, I think, is evidenced by what they charge as a transaction fee. So people in this program, they buy the currency, a certain amount of the currency, and so the company's not making anything on that. Where the company is making money is on the transaction fee. So instead of this being a very frictionless or low-cost type of exchange, every transaction with U token involves paying 15% transaction fees. So I mean, you think about how merchants complain about MasterCard and Visa at 3% and stuff. They're going to have a fit over this. I don't. They're going to have to change it. I think it's obnoxious, but it just shows you that so that was their thought. I mean, the central committee decided, they could have gone 5%, 3%. Who knows? They went 15%. So I feel it shows some flawed decision making, and that would worry me about that deal. I think that the whole backing idea is not nearly as strong as a fixed money supply idea. So I think that one of the big appeals has always been with cryptocurrency that it is a fixed, it's algorithmically fixed, mathematically defined. You cannot make more Bitcoin. You cannot make more OneCoin. There's only going to be so many. Well, everybody is behind that idea. I think particularly with all of the governments of the world printing money, like, it's going out of style. So I do think that's I think it's not the right decision either. I think backing currency, especially when it's left up to someone's discretion, a central committee's discretion, that's worrisome to me. I think it doesn't have a lot of solidity to it. So I don't really like a lot of the components that they've put together in that program, but suffice it to say, the space is so hot that it is actually growing fast, and they're doing a lot of business. And in Thailand, I saw an article where Ufund and OneCoin were the two highlighted companies that apparently are making a lot of noise over there. There's a lot of Thailand is OneCoin's second biggest market after China. So, and then Thailand, as I told you, is the headquarters of Ufund. So it is a hot market. It's an interesting idea, but I don't see it. I salivate anytime someone has had exposure to UToken. If they're in it, I think they should diversify into OneCoin. And if they decided against UToken, I think it's an easy yes to OneCoin. There are very few alternatives out there in this realm that are really attractive. There's a few that are really not even worth going into because I just think they haven't put the pieces together correctly. So in terms of selling against other competitors, I'm amazed at how few competitors there are in this space, and I scratch my head about it. I know more are coming for sure, but I also think that there's a window of opportunity here that is only so long that I do think that there's room for competitors in this space, but I do think that by the end of this year, there'll be some leaders in place, hopefully OneCoin right at the forefront of all of them, but I think that it'll become a tight race after that, and if a company isn't in position at that point, I don't see them being a major factor. So I do think timing is such an important part of this whole thing, and it couldn't be better right now for anyone listening on this or that gets to hear this at this time. I mean, I can go into the back office and tell you exactly what countries, how many members are in each country right now, and I can assure you that your country is very underrepresented, with the sole exception that country being China. Yeah, there are a lot of Chinese in this deal, but they expect, and this was written up in I was actually a video piece that was done that I was hearing about in the headquarters last week. They did a report on OneCoin, and it was very favorable. And they said that the person doing the report said that they anticipate that by the end of the year, over 1 million Chinese will be involved in OneCoin. So they're expecting huge growth in that market. It's showing every sign of it right now. But every other country is also early. It's early days everywhere. So in that sense, I think it's a really unusual. The timing is really optimal right now. So it does make it very exciting. Oops. Any other questions? Ooh, Jeremy, I lost audio. Did you mute yourself? I've lost audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Anyways, guys, I'm going to show you my screen real quickly and show you what kind of positioning you have the opportunity. Like I said, if you're watching this as a recording, take advantage. I'm going to show you guys the back office here. Michael, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can.
Okay, so we just got started in this thing a little bit ago, guys. This is starting to take off, and so if you're watching this webinar, you have the opportune time, and you know what guys like Terry and myself can do. You don't know Michael, but I'm telling you, he's an animal. And what we're doing is we're positioning people right now, so you can take advantage and come into one of these legs, and you'll be in great positioning to work with us. I sent you guys out the link on the Hangout here. It's over in the chat box, so you guys can go over there and sign up. And what we're doing right now, guys, is we're just going to be pounding down the outside left. So if you guys are actually going to, if you guys want to be in a great position, in a great place that you can be in early, not to mention the dynamics and the power of what OneCoin can do as an investment, but also positioning yourselves. Take your position, grab the free spot, and then let's figure out which one works best for you as far as the the packages. Okay.
And maybe I should just go over briefly about this one point about the package that is worth saying. So the difference between shoot, I'm hearing a lot of feedback. Sorry, I'm going to have to, can you do that? Thanks. So the difference between the packages are from the $100 through the $3,000 one, you're basically getting one split of the tokens. And it's a little confusing about why the tokens are splitting. Suffice it to say, it's just the way that they're modulating the whole process of the mining. So the long and short of it is that you get a certain amount of tokens, and they in essence double at within 8 to 10 weeks of you coming into the program and funding your account. Those tokens will double, and you'll in essence get another amount of coins, basically doubling the amount of coins you initially got. So in essence, you get one split is what it's referred to with all the packages except for that Tycoon package. The Tycoon package, as a special incentive, they give two splits. So that leads from the double, I said, from the 25 euro cent to 50 euro cent, that doubling, and it leads to the quadrupling, because you're getting the coins at exactly half. So you're getting them at 12.5 cents, the euro cents, and they're going to be on the market for 50 euro cents starting May 15th. So that is a huge incentive. Not only are you getting a lot more coins, but you're getting, in essence, double the amount of so you get a larger quantity, and then you're doubling that. So it's very compelling, and so compelling that I've gotten multiple positions of that Tycoon.
Yeah, you're showing. Are you trying to show something other than just the Hangout?
Oh no, I wasn't really showing anything.
Okay, I just want to make, because you weren't clicked on like anything other than just I'm seeing either. Okay, great. So if there's no questions, guys, we want to end this. It's been 50 minutes. Sorry that it took so long, but I'm going to send this out to all of you guys as well, and you can pass this around and introduce this to people. I think it's a very powerful and informative webinar. And Michael, again, dude, thank you so much for coming out and sharing this with us.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. Grab your guys' position. Grab it right now. Don't delay. Don't do anything until you get locked in on that link. Grab your spot, and you're going to be in great position to earn, a very lucrative amount of money, very short amount of order here. Okay, diversification is the name of the game. All right, guys. Again, this is Jeremy Barnett with Michael Mathias and my partner Terry there. So we shall see you guys very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michael.
Yep, thank you guys.